Hey guys, Deion Taylor here. I'm sure most of you are aware of the fact that we can use Power Automate to automatically post a notification inside a Microsoft Teams channel. Now, I'm actually going to step it up a notch here. I'm going to show you how you can create your own adaptive card and then use Power Automate to post that adaptive card to a Teams channel. And all of this is going to be triggered on an event in Dataverse. So for this example, when an opportunity is set to 1, this is actually what's going to trigger my Power Automate flow. Let's take a look. So the scenario here is that I want to post an adaptive card to a Teams channel when an opportunity is won. And then I want to grab some of that data from that opportunity and put that in my adaptive card. So let me show you first what that's going to look like. So I'm going to open up this opportunity that I have here. And then I'm going to close that as 1. You can see here, by the way, that I am the owner of this opportunity. I'm going to close it as 1. I'm going to change that actual revenue to 50K here. And then I'm going to save and close it. And that will, as you can see, change that status of the opportunity to 1. Now, if I go to that Teams site, you can see here that, oh, and I'm getting my notifications. You can see here now that that adaptive card has been posted to this channel. So now let's talk about how exactly I did that. If you navigate to adaptivecards.io/designer, this is where you can design these adaptive cards. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to click on samples. That's like right on top here. And that will allow you to look at all of these different cards. You can see here what that looks like. And then you can pick one that you can start with. So I'm going to click here on try it yourself. This is the one I'm going to use. So basically what you see here up top is the preview. And then here on the side, you see the card structure. And next to that, you see element properties. And below, you can see that card payload editor. And that's that JSON that we're going to use in our Power Automate flow. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete some of these items over here. For example, I don't need this box. I don't need this area, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I can use the rest. But before I start editing, you want to make sure that you select the application that you're going to show this card in. So I'm using Microsoft Teams with a light background, as you saw earlier. So I'm going to pick that. And this is what it will look like when I post this card inside of Microsoft Teams. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually click inside of this section here. And when I do that, you can see in the card structure that that's a text block. And you have some additional information on there as well. Now, what I want to do in here in this text area is I want to type in congratulations on your win. That's the text I want to show. But then I also want to tag the owner of that opportunity in Teams. So I'm going to do here, you could do a bracket, you could do anything you want. I'm going to go ahead and type in owner, oops. And that's basically for me, so I know that that's a placeholder and I'm going to need to replace that when I'm building my flow. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, you also have the ability to change the size. I'm going to make this extra large. You can change the weight of that as well. Right? Maybe we want it a little bit bolder. And then you can change the color as well. So I'm going to mark this as attention, and that turns it in this red color. All right, great. So underneath there, I'm going to click right over here, and I want to put the opportunity topic in there. So again, topic, oops, I still have it on caps lock. That's going to be my placeholder for the opportunity topic field. And then below that, I want to show, I'm going to hard code this. I want to show total revenue. That's not a placeholder, but the field underneath here is going to be my placeholder. So I'm going to type in annual revenue. And then you can even change that color again, right? So I'm going to say this is going to be in green. This looks good. Maybe I want to make this total revenue field a little bit bigger as well. Maybe make that medium, maybe large. Yeah, there you go. That looks good. So you also saw, let me go back here to my notification, that I had this image in here as well. So you can look for an image online and store that somewhere, and then you can use that in this designer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this image element up top here. There you go. I'm just going to drop it. And you see here now that there's a URL field. So this is where you can put that URL to that image in there. So this is what that image looks like in that adaptive card. Now, there's one more thing that I need to add to this, and that is the ability to access the opportunity when I click on this button. So if you see here, you have the ability to add an action, and I'm going to do the open URL action. And if I click on that, I can go ahead and enter something here. So open opportunity. And then what I can do here is enter the URL of that opportunity, but I'm only going to enter the partial URL in there. So what you would do is you would actually open an opportunity in your environments, and then you will copy the entire URL until it actually says opportunity and ID equals. You're not going to copy over that last part. So if I go back here to my, to my designer card, I'm just going to go ahead and copy that in that URL. You can see this is the last part of it, opportunity and ID. And here I'm going to put my opportunity ID. That's that unique ID that will grab in Power Automate. So that's all I needed to do. What I can do now is I can start working on my flow, and I can already copy this card payload or the JSON code so I can use that a little bit later. Now let's go ahead and start building out our flow. So you're going to log into flow.microsoft.com, and then you can start creating the flow. You're just going to click the create button over here. And this is going to be an automated cloud flow. So that's what I'm selecting. I'm going to skip over here because I prefer looking at this page where I have a little bit more screen real estate. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look for the trigger when a row is added, modified, or delete, because what we want to do is we want to run this flow when an opportunity is updated. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. So we want this to happen on update, right? When an opportunity closes as 1. And then the table is opportunities. Here we go. And then you can set your scope. I'm going to set this to organization, and then we have some advanced options as well. So I'm going to add this column filter here. I want to filter this on the status code field or the status reason. And I only want that to trigger when the status reason is 1. And then lastly, you can choose how you want to run that, right? I'm going to run this as the process owner. Now, for my next step, I need to get some information from the owner of the opportunity. So I need to get a row by ID. And here we are, the Microsoft Dataverse connector, get a row by ID. And that is the users table. And then the row ID is that owner of that opportunity. And then obviously we want to get the value of that field. Now, right now I'm going to get all of the columns returned, but if I want to only get certain columns returned, then you can put those column names right over here. You don't have to do this, but you can. But since I'm only going to need these two fields, I'm just going to put them right in there. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I actually, when I post that adaptive card, I also want to tag the owner of the opportunity. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get that mention token right over here for a user, right? So I can tag him in that message. And that is actually the username from the previous step, right? So you can select it right over here. And that's really the only thing you have to do here. And then my last step here is I'm going to search for teams. And we want to post adaptive card in a channel or a chat. And that's this guy right over here. So you can post as either a user or the flow bot. I'm actually going to post as a flow bot. And then you can select if you want to post in a channel or in a chat with the flow bot. I'm actually going to do a channel. And once I select channel, you can see that now I get some additional options. So you can add your team, and that's my Dynamics 365 team, and I can add my channel. That's my D365 sales notifications. And then this is where we're going to insert that JSON that we talked about earlier. Right? This is that adaptive card that we created. So I'm going to go back here to my designer. And now I'm going to copy that card payload by clicking this button over here. And I'm going to go back to my flow. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that in here. So you can see now that because I put these little brackets or whatever you want to call it right in here, it's easier for me to kind of find where I need to make these updates. So I need to get this dynamic content selector. So I just click in here. Then again, I'm going to highlight this owner field. And what I want to do here is this is where I want to say congratulations on your win. And then I want to mention that opportunity owner. So I'm just going to click here on that mention right over here. And then I can even put some exclamation points next to that as well. Then I scroll down a little bit further. Let's see here. This is the opportunity topic. So I'm going to type in topic, and then that's what I'm going to enter right over here. Then let's see here. This says annual revenue. It should say, let me just see, actual revenue. There you go. That's where the actual revenue goes. And then lastly, this is what we copied earlier, right? This is all the way up until equals opportunity and ID equals. So here is where we're going to put in the unique ID of that opportunity. So I'm going to type in opportunity. And here you can see this is the unique identifier of that opportunity. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that right in there. And that is it. That is my flow. You probably want to go ahead and put a good name in there as well. So I can say, let me just, opportunity 1 equals post to teams. And then you can just go ahead and save that. And once that is saved, you can then go ahead and test that. So let's run that test one more time. I'm actually going to do that manually. I'm going to click here on test. and it's wanting me to perform that action. So let's go ahead and go to another opportunity here. Let's do this new lead by Matt. I'm going to close this as a 1. Make that 30K. Save and close. And I am getting that notification. And here we are. Congratulations on your win. New lead by Matt, $30,000 revenue. And then if I want to open an opportunity, let's keep our fingers crossed. And there we are. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss another video again. Thanks again and be safe, everybody.